Okay, just put the new slave cylinder on the front of the torque tube. Real easy, just 2 bolts. Got to line up your fittings with the cutouts in the torque tube. Now this is the time if you want to put the remote bleeder on. It's a hose that will replace this and take that bleeder and put it up in your engine bay. I don't use them. It's not that difficult for me to take off some of the exhaust and take that tunnel plate out. Then you can reach up there and grab that and bleed it through here. For me, that's not that big a deal. And the other reason I don't like them is that the area that hose runs up is kind of crowded anyway. It's just another place to leak. And you just don't have to bleed the clutch that often. But that stupid Ranger method they use, let me talk about that for a second. The Ranger method, you just take the stuff out of your reservoir and fill it with new, pump the pedal a few times. You see how this works? This hooks to your master, and it just basically pushes fluid back and forth. This doesn't circulate back up to that reservoir. So you're not changing the fluid in this. You're not changing the fluid in the master cylinder. You're just changing a little bit in the upper hose and the reservoir. And if the Ranger method actually makes your clutch work better, it's just because you've pumped the damn thing a couple of 100 times. You need to bleed, if you're having clutch trouble, you need to bleed it properly. That's bottom line. And that is opening this, whether it's in your engine bay or down here, and pumping new fluid through the entire system. So now we'll take the clutch comes with some spline lubricant. We'll put a nice even coat on the splines here, wipe off any excess because you don't want it slinging out and getting on your disc. All right, it's sliding back in there, no problem. Got hung up on the lip of the garage there a little bit, but other than that, it's been pretty easy. Put the front end on a piece of cardboard so it'll slide without damaging the torque tube. And got back here and was sliding my ass across the garage floor pushing like a wormy dog. But so far, so good. I just got to keep working it under there and get that brake booster back on this back side. As with most things, this would be a lot easier with help. I don't have any today, so we're going to do it without it. Got the torque tube up about lined up toward the bell housing, so I'm going to lift it up, put a jack stand under it, and start getting ready to stab it. Good thing I work out. I need to work out some more. Shit. I should have brought the jack over here. Oh well. You got several things going on at once. You got this stupid wiring harness. Gotta watch your clutch. Oh, what the hell am I pinching? Get that wiring harness, set it up on top. Now we need to come forward a little more. Now we definitely need to get the ass end moved over that way a little bit. It's not lined up with the tunnel. That shouldn't be any more than a little tugging. Oh yeah. That looks much better as far as lining up with the tunnel. Just keep an eye on everything. Now we're starting to engage the clutch area. we need to do now is raise the back end up some. Get it lined up. Like I said, 2 people make this really easy. So if you got somebody on the back running the jack, doing that kind of thing, and all you got to do up here is guide it in. Okay, the only thing keeping me from sliding this on the rest of the way is the whole assembly needs to be turned counterclockwise a little bit. So I'm going to put my other jack back here and lift up just a little. And then let her slide right together. We've got all the bolts in now. So I'm going to take the plastic connectors or covers off, and I'm going to hook up the clutch line so we can get it bled before we go any further. Just snaps together. Push it and make sure it gets push it and make sure you can't pull it back apart. You may or may not hear a snap. Okay, it was actually easier to get to the bleeder screw and all the rest of the stuff with it up in the tunnel. So we're jacking it up. Gonna get the get it bolted to the car. Okay, she's up in there solid now. We'll torque. These bolts go to 81 foot-pounds. Go ahead and slide in these upper control arms. 81 foot-pounds on those. And I think probably mount the shocks up, then crawl back under and hook up all the wiring on the transmission. Okay, we're going to take her out for the first test ride. You can hear noise. It's because this boot is not shoved down on there, so you're getting a lot of tunnel noise. I don't know if that boot doesn't fit that MGW shifter or what the problem is. But I think the console helps hold it down. I'll tell you right now, I don't like a short throw shifter. This one shifts fine, but I just don't like it. I didn't take a lot of video putting it back together because I was in a hurry yesterday. And basically it's all after I got the cradle back up in there. The rest of it is just the exact opposite of taking it apart, so no need to bore you with that. Right now we just need to make sure it shifts. Shit, look at that, reverse works. I hate this shifter, hate this shifter. All right, we're gonna head out of town. Don't run too good either. There's fourth. Nice and smooth. My daughter's car is being an absolute pain in the ass. Right after I was driving it, trying to check to make sure it shifts, you heard it cut out that one time. Right after the video ended, it died. I coasted to a stop. Won't run, won't crank. Had to bring it home, had to tow it home. So I've been working today on trying to figure out what was wrong with that. We've checked the resistor in the key. Everything's good to the deal. The theft deterrent module, the relay is working fine. It's just not getting the ground signal from the BCM to fire it off. So we shorted across the theft deterrent relay. It fires right up and it runs till it runs out of gas. So that's telling me that it's pumping up fuel pressure when we're trying to crank it because the fuel pump comes on, but then it's running. So the BCM is telling the PCM that we've got a theft problem or whatever, and it not running the fuel pump after that. So took it apart since we couldn't find anything external. And let's look inside the body control module. I'm thinking that she might have got wet at one time. So now I'm going to clean this up with IPA. I mean, I took it apart figuring there might be a cracked solder joint. I wasn't expecting a bunch of corrosion, but we'll see if we can't correct this one. If that doesn't work, then we're going to have to find another one. I'm figuring why it quit now is because of the cold weather. And it probably is a cracked solder joint. Just separated a little more, but everything shrinks down from the cold. But going to have to figure out what's going on here before I can even make sure my transmission works good. I hate working on other people's stuff. Look at that baby now. That looks so much better than before. That was a combination. Isopropyl alcohol and a toothbrush didn't cut it, so I had to make up a paste out of baking soda and water and gave it a good scrub to get the corrosion off. So next up is going through and reflowing a bunch of these joints because it's got so many surface mount resistors that are so prone to cracking where they mount to the circuit board. So I'm going to go over it and see what I can do. For right now, that's all I'm doing today. It's been a long day of diagnosing and I'm kind of sick of it. Thanks for watching.